Portal 2 was a game released in 2011. It's a very beloved game and people still plays it today and loves it. It's one of the biggest, most beloved games in history, and yeah, it's really beloved game. It was the same people who made Team Fortress 2 who made this game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna talk about it today and have some fun. But yeah, the story. Portal 2 actually don't have that much of a story. It has kind of a plot, or kind of a story. It's mostly taken from the first one. The plot is pretty much about you meet this blue guy, I don't remember his name. You meet him, he becomes your ally. You try to take GLaDOS down with him. He takes GLaDOS down with you. He gets GLaDOS power and he gets evil, and the rest of the game is you and GLaDOS doing the same kind of stuff, just to him to get the GLaDOS powers back, because he's not clever enough to have that much power. It's not that big of a story. If you really look into it, you can find a lot of other stuff to the game. You can find a lot of theories, a lot of backstories. You can find out how GLaDOS was made. It don't really tell you in the game that much, but there's a big story out of the game. But yeah, we are talking much about the game, but it really doesn't really matter that much of a story, because there is a story and you can find out that actually is a great element to the game. You don't know the whole story by playing it one time. There's small clues all over the place, small drawings on the walls, secret places, all kind of stuff that's really interesting. And if you really want to hear the story, you have played the game one time, and you really want to find out how GLaDOS was made, why is Shell in this place, why is Shell there is in this basement kind of thing, this puzzle place. You can find out that is actually an explanation for all that kind of stuff. You can look it up on the internet. There's an explanation for most of it, and why they built this big place, and why there's no humans and all that stuff. There's actually, I think there's humans outside. There's another game that, I don't know the game's name, but there's another game that is linked to this game, so it's at the same timeline. There's a lot of things. I really encourage you to check out top 10 facts or theories about this game, because there's a really interesting theory and a story in this game, much bigger when what you actually see in the game. You don't get everything told to you in the game. The story in the game is actually kind of a mystery. It's not really a story in the game. It's more like a plot, and there's a bigger story to the plot, in my opinion. It's a story, but it's more kind of like a plot, in my opinion. That you get a lot of these characters, and you don't know where they come from or why they are here, but you can find out, and that's pretty much some of the story. There's comments about Portal 2, and just a lot of things. There's a lot of side material, and some people maybe say, oh, couldn't they just have put that in the game? That wouldn't been great. What really makes Portal great, some things, is that you don't see other humans. You feel alone. You haven't seen humans in a long time. You feel really alone. It wouldn't be great if you just suddenly saw a cutscene with a bunch of doctors, and you feel alone in the game, and that's really a great thing. The only allies you have are companion cubes and that blue robot, and robots are the only people you really know. You can find out GLaDOS is actually a human, and all that stuff, but you don't really have so many humans. It's a great thing you don't see humans all the time in this game. It would have ruined it a little bit if suddenly there was a human in front of you and telling you the story and telling you, oh, I was the person that made GLaDOS. The great thing is, if you watch the story, there is maybe humans with you, but you never see them in the game. But you get small hints at there's a human. So yeah, I really encourage you to watch some videos if you haven't, and do that. But yeah, I really like the story. I think the story is a great, really great. There isn't much of a story in the game, but the whole Portal 2 story is great. The mechanics is probably the best thing about this game. I haven't played many puzzle games before this. One of the puzzle games I have played is from the Legend of Zelda series. I have played A Link Between Worlds, A Link Origins of Seasons, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. There are only 3 puzzle games I've played before, and the only game that even comes close to Portal is A Link Between Worlds, just because it's one of my favorite games. But this game, the puzzle in this game is just genius. In a lot of Zelda games, it's very simple puzzles. It's like finding a button and shooting it. In this game, it's so much more, and it's so much aha. It can be so boring in some of the sim games, and I really love Zelda. But sometimes a puzzle can be really annoying and don't make sense at all, and you just end up really hating it. But there wasn't a single puzzle I hated in Portal very well. I never really thought. A thing I hate when in some puzzles is you played it and the puzzle never tells you what to do. And it's just like, in the end, it was so easy, but the puzzle never give you a clue. So you end up thinking, oh, it was just that. I could have done that in 2 minutes instead of a half hour. But Portal never does that, I think. You always have all the puzzle pieces in front of you in Portal, and it's your fault if you can't find out what to do in the puzzle. It's not the game. It's always your fault in Portal, and I really love that. In Zelda, sometimes it's the puzzle's fault. You can't make it because it don't explain to you what to do. But in Portal, it's kind of always explains to you what to do. It's like in the mechanics. You have like these 2 things to do. You can shoot a blue portal and an orange portal, and you know that from start. It's like the whole concept for the rest of the game. It sounds very simple, but it does so much more. It puts small things in it to make it that much greater. There's some orange slime and some blue slime, and there's some different kind of slime in the game. And when the blue slime and orange slime is introduced, like the orange slime makes you faster, and the blue slime makes you jump higher. In the first level is introduced, it's very simple. It's a very simple puzzle, and you really fast find out, oh, this makes me jump, this makes me run fast. In the next puzzle, it's like them 2 of them together, so you have to find out what to do with them both to jump over this place, but you can't just jump over it with only the blue stuff, so you have to put the orange stuff all over the place and then run and jump to the blue thing, and it's really good. Something like that. It's really great in Portal. Well, give you these mechanics and show you what they can do, and just put them and make them harder and harder, and until you have learned them, and then you gotta use them. It's really fun. In Zelda, sometimes it's really just an Ocarina of Time. Sometimes you're just gonna go inside a room and kill all the bad guys, and the door don't open, and it's just like, hey, what should I do? And you just go around and you see a thing with some fire on, a light, and you take a staff and you put fire on that and put fire on another thing, and then the doors opens, and just like, oh, you never told me I could do that. It's kind of that thing. Zelda sometimes do that. It's not even fun to just. It's so simple, but it takes too much time. And yeah, it's just Portal really makes the puzzle great. I think Portal do that kind of thing with puzzle really great. It's also what it's best at. I even think if you never really liked a puzzle game, you're definitely gonna like Portal, because it's just the really wide, really cause one of the best puzzle game. I would even say it couldn't have been better. Portal. It makes everything fantastic. It wasn't a simple, even a simple moment where I didn't have fun. And every time I made a puzzle, I got that aha moment. It was so good. I felt clever. I felt aha. In some of the other puzzle games I play, it didn't feel as rewarding as in Portal, where it really was like, aha, yeah, I did it, fantastic. And that's a really great thing about Portal. Really makes you use your mind instead of just going around and trying different things. You really try this thing, just think of what this thing can do. It's just fantastic game. Yeah, but that's pretty much the mechanic. I can't really talk more about the mechanics, because that's pretty much all to say about the mechanic. So yeah, let's just go. Okie dokie, so the characters. There's actually only like 3 main characters in this game. There's the blue guy, I'm gonna call him Moran, because GLaDOS always calls him Moran. There's Moran, GLaDOS, and Shell, and that's pretty much the only characters in the game. And Shell really doesn't talk or say anything. Shell is pretty much you are Shell, so yeah, you are Shell, so Shell can be the most interesting character in the world, and she can also be the most boring character in the world. You decide. You are Shell. Shell doesn't really have that much of a personality. When you look into the story, she has a bit more of a personality. But if you just play the game, she really doesn't. It's mostly you that do the stuff. It's not really Shell. You are Shell. So yeah, you can say it's mostly you that defeat the game, not Shell. I don't know. Shell's not the most interesting character of all time. But GLaDOS, if you really look into the story, GLaDOS is really cool, and she also is really cool in the game. GLaDOS is just a really good character, really good evil character. One of my favorite games villains, not my favorite, because I don't know. GLaDOS wasn't that. She was interesting, but one of my favorite like villains in games is like Flurry from Undertale. He was really interesting and had a lot of stuff too, really much development. GLaDOS like have one goal, and that is to test you, and she's a robot, so yeah, it's good to see her change in the end, and that's character development, I know, but yeah, GLaDOS not really my favorite villain. But my favorite characters in the game is Moran, like I call him. He's just fantastic. Really, I really like him becoming really evil. I really want to empower. He's really funny in the start of the game and really good to helping you. He's just a really like common relief, but in a good way. And yeah, I really like him. It's also in the end where I said sorry to you and really said he mean it. Don't just say it because he's out in space and can see that he's sorry. He means it, and that makes a lot of you really feel like it. I mean, he's just don't just say it to like make you think he's good again. He's just saying it because he really am sorry, and it's big. And it's pretty big when you think he's technically a robot, so it means a lot that he's sorry about it. At least it does for me. He's really great character, and really like that character development. I like when characters come that. He's just pretty much the best characters in the game. If you can't say that Turtles are character, but I won't really say that. They are cute. They are some kind of character, but not really. They are really cute enemies. Probably But the most cute enemies are very cute. They are really cute. Really like the turrets, the small ball, but also like the companion cube. They're actually just a block with a heart on, but yeah, very cute. But yeah, the characters is great. They're not as great as like Undertale characters, but Undertale really works because of the character. I would say the biggest thing about Undertale is actually the characters, and most rememberable about Undertale. What I will say, Portal in some ways are a little bit better than Undertale. It depends on which person you are. Are you like a book person? I would say if you like characters and really like adventure and that kind of stuff, you're probably gonna like Undertale a lot. But if you like more like an action person and really a things person, don't read that much book, I don't know. I don't know which person you should be to really like Portal, but I definitely think Portal is one of my favorite games. Really loving it. I will like puzzles, and Undertale is also a really great game. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about that game, but I'm just gonna say the characters are what makes Undertale. And graphics. I really love the graphics, and the music. There's just a lot of stuff in Undertale that's great. Yeah, I don't really. This is probably the final things I'm gonna say. The story is probably, yeah, what I'm gonna say. This is my closing thoughts. This is the end. I'm gonna end the video in about really soon. There's not gonna come another part talking about the characters and music. I'm gonna say, I don't really remember music that much. I remember it to be good. I didn't hate the music at all. I'm not the biggest like. I don't care so much about music in video games. I like it, but it's not the biggest thing for me. So I'm not gonna like say this game is great because of music. Give it more points for music. I'm just gonna tell you that. I give it points for the characters, the story, and the mechanics. And I'm actually gonna give all three of them, let's give them points now. I'm gonna give the mechanics 10 out of 10, really love it. The story 8 out of 10, maybe 7, probably gonna give it 7 out of 10. And the characters, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. But still really my favorite game, really loving it. The mechanics is really my favorite thing about game. The best thing about a game for me is when you really like playing it. When the story is over, you don't want to go back to a game just to hear the story again. You already know the story. But to play a game, you gotta have some good mechanics so you can play it again and again and again. And don't worry about the story, just play it because it's fun. And yeah, this game, I can see me going back to it a lot, just because it's a great game. But that's pretty much my closing thoughts. I hope I got anything I was going to say. I don't know if I did. I'm probably say your opinion if you play Portal, and if you feel interesting in buying this game after hearing my thoughts on it, you can find it on Steam pretty easily. I don't think it costs that much anymore. It's a pretty old game. It's 2011. And just gonna be older, but I think it's the original price. It's still a pretty beloved game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Go buy it on Steam if you want to. And yeah, I'm just gonna say I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again next time, guys. Bye.